So next I'm going to tell you about some of the things that we are proud of right now in Oklahoma City, and what we plan to accomplish over the next few years, and why we need your support for adequate funding to make sure that our teachers have the supports they need to help change the trajectory of children like Adrian who are currently in our schools. Transformative change is possible, but we can't do this without adequate support and funding from our community and state. So to start with some of the things we are really proud of though right now, in the district, we have really been working hard to increase the access that students have to advanced rigorous coursework. So we have worked really hard and increased our numbers significantly on the students who are now taking advanced placement courses and tests, and our scores are going up. We currently have 2 schools that have now exceeded the national average on kids scoring a 3 or above on AP exams, and those 2 schools are Classen SAS and U.S. Grant High School. But what this means is that more kids are gaining access to a rigorous curriculum, and our high schools are doing a better job to prepare them to be successful. We also have something great that's going to be offered to all of our kids this year, and it's a SAT prep program for every kid in the district through Khan Academy. And we are paying for kids to take the PSAT, and now their accounts get linked to the Khan Academy, which gives them a specialized tutorial program on the specific areas of the SAT that they didn't do well on, and get tutoring, and it will help their scores go up, and you're going to see increases. This is something we're so excited to roll out. We're partnering with the College Board, but it's available to every child who takes the PSAT. It's free, and families no longer have to pay lots of money to get PSAT and SAT prep for students. So we're really excited about that. We're also really excited about this program that we've rolled out called Summit Base Camp. And this is a scene from one of our classrooms. We have 8 schools that are currently doing this. And basically in these schools, we have changed what education looks like, where students work on the curriculum on their own personal computers and spend teacher time working on going in depth with student projects. And what is really great about this is kids are super engaged. They're moving through the curriculum at their own pace, which for a lot of kids means they're moving faster than ever before. We even had a kid from Jackson Elementary last year who finished all of the 6th grade curriculum by December and moved into all 7th grade coursework starting when he came back after the break in January. Kids are moving, discipline rates are going down, kids are being able to master objectives at a rate that we've never seen before because no one's having to sit in a lecture of something they've already learned. So this is really exciting. We started at 3 schools. It's now expanded to 8. And the whole thing is being funded by Facebook and the Mark Zuckerberg Foundation. And we are just thrilled to have brought this to Oklahoma City. We're going to invite metro area superintendents to come take a look at it. But it's something that we really think is going to be a game changer for Oklahoma City. We have, and here's a great picture. As kids master, this is where they're showing their principal. They get to make charts to show how they're moving through the units, and it's just something that's really fun and the kids love. Also made some really good gains in suspensions, and many of you know we had an OCR complaint filed against us a few years ago, but we have made significant decreases to the number of short-term and long-term suspensions. Overall, our suspensions are down 26% last year. Long-term suspensions are down 29% in the last year and 62% over the last 2 years. And what this means is we're doing a better job of keeping students in school more and finding other ways to work with them on challenges. We also passed the Yes the Yellow bond, which I cannot tell you how happy this makes me. Thank you so much to the Chamber for helping to run that. But for once, we are now able to get all of our broken air conditioners fixed. We got dangerous buses off the road. So here's a happy picture of a brand new yellow bus that we were so excited that got out on the streets this year. And it's going to be able to help us upgrade our technology and get working computers and up to speed wireless in all the schools. So we just want to give a huge shout out to the taxpayers who helped support us. This was something desperately needed and is much, much appreciated. We also applied and were awarded Community Eligibility Provision status. That's what we're calling CEP. And this is the program where every kid in the Oklahoma City Public Schools gets to eat breakfast and lunch for free, no matter what your background. Our district, yeah, this is right. Our district was previously, it was 90% free and reduced lunch, so many of the students already qualified anyway. But for the small percentage of kids who didn't qualify, sometimes things might happen in their families where they weren't able to come up with the money to pay for lunch. Maybe a family member lost their job, or there's all kinds of things that could happen. And what ends up happening is if a kid can't pay, in most places, they're allowed to rack up a bill for a little bit, and then it comes to a point where the district won't serve the meals anymore. They get a cheese sandwich, and in some places, that's where lunch shaming takes place, where they're forced to work in the cafeteria or do different things like that. We didn't want that to ever happen to kids in Oklahoma City. So we applied for the district CEP process, got this grant to be able to give every kid free meals no matter what your background. No one's chasing you down for money. You don't have to tell us why you don't have it. It's just a really, really wonderful feel-good thing, and we're seeing the number of kids eating every day in the cafeteria skyrocket. So we're so happy about this, and we hope every district moves on to a program like this. Also, we just finished our 12th clean audit, and I'm going to say, even with the terrible budget crisis that we're in, we managed to protect our fund balance and still scrape enough money together at the end of this past year to give our teachers a raise, small raise. And I don't care what anyone says, though, money invested in teachers is not a waste of taxpayer dollars. It's investment in our future. We also open with the fewest number of vacancies that we've had in a very, very long time. 2 years ago, we had 100 vacancies on the first day of school. Last year, we opened with 35. This year, we opened with 28. So we're starting to close that gap and get more teachers, although our number of emergency certified teachers is going up. But we're making sure that even more classrooms have a teacher on the first day of school. But at the same time, we are still in the middle of a budget crisis. And it makes it really challenging for us to do all the things that we want to do for kids to the best of our abilities when we're constantly having to make cuts. But despite that, we are focused on moving forward as a district and still doing the best that we can to roll out new initiatives to make our district a better place. Here's one of our happy kids on the first day with his free lunch. And the 4 big buckets of work that we're really trying to improve for Oklahoma City are improving the quality of teaching and learning, building a great culture where people love to come to work and where kids love to come to school, investing in people and building a pipeline and supporting them so teachers want to come back every year and don't want to leave us to go to Texas, and then just improving our systems and becoming more efficient with the resources that we have so we can invest every dollar, every penny that we have into supporting classrooms and teachers. So I'm going to share with you a few things that you're going to see us rolling out this year. In teaching and learning, the state has rolled out new academic standards. We have a new assessment system, and we are raising the bar and the level of rigor for all kids in the state of Oklahoma because we want to make sure that when kids graduate from our systems, they are not going to have to take remedial courses when they get to college. So we're really excited to be going deeper into these new academic standards. One of the things that we heard loud and clear last year from our principals is that they didn't have enough in terms of instructional materials for literacy in their classrooms. And so we scraped together the pennies that we had to go ahead and make an additional $2.2 million of supplemental literacy materials for OKC teachers this year. So even though it is challenging, we're still finding ways to get teachers the supports they need to be able to do their job for kids. You heard a little bit earlier about our big Read OKC initiative that we did with the Compact. Here's a great picture of our kickoff where Clifford the dog came to inspire kids to want to read more. It was a great event, and we just saw success all over with kids reading from all different places in the summer and hopefully finding things that they love to read so they continue that as a habit through the whole school year. And here's a picture of the Thunder bus, also partnered with the Thunder. They've done a number of wonderful things, but one of the things that I love is that they bring this bus out and kids get to come pick free books to take to their homes, which is great, especially if they don't have very many books. Oops. In terms of culture, we've been doing a number of things. One group that really stepped up this year is the All Access Arts Committee for the Arts Council of Oklahoma City. And this is a group of people that came together who knew we had had to make a lot of cuts to arts over the past 2 years because of the budget. And so what they said is they wanted to come together, apply for grants, and find extra funding to put art back into the schools that had taken the cuts. So this past year, they applied for a $50,000 grant from the Kirkpatrick Family Fund and got additional arts classes put back at the 8 schools that had taken the biggest cuts to the arts over the past year. And we are so grateful that they stepped up to help our kids become well-rounded citizens. Athletic opportunities are also still expanding. Fields and Futures has done an amazing job remaking our sports fields and just partnered with the Cal Ripken Senior Foundation and Delaware Life to get a huge donation to go ahead and finish redoing all the rest of our sports facilities in Oklahoma City, which is huge. There is no way we could have afforded to do that on our own. And what we know from looking at our data is when kids are getting involved in sports, it's giving them more of a reason to love coming to school, to want to keep their grades up because they don't want to have to explain to their coaches what's wrong with their GPA. And we're seeing improved attendance numbers. Everything gets better when kids love coming to school and when they have something that makes them really excited and passionate. So we just want to thank them. Also, I've got the OKCPS Foundation on this slide. What's really great is OKCPS, the Police Athletic League, has started elementary school sports teams in our elementary schools for 5th and 6th grade, so that when kids get to middle school, they want to join up with the official teams. This is really expanded. Now they're doing all kinds of sports in our elementary school, trying to give kids a healthy place to go after school. And they're currently looking for volleyball and football coaches. So if any of you have even just like a little bit of skill, please come tell us because we need like 20 more coaches. As you heard a little bit earlier, mental health is a really big thing that I am passionate about putting more into our schools. This year I did decrease the counselor ratio because I want to make sure we're getting more counselors into our schools. But we're excited that we've partnered with the Mental Health and Substance Abuse Service Department, United Way, to figure out how do we identify where the holes are and get mental health supports for every kid who needs it, because we know a lot of our kids experience trauma. We want to take the stigma away from getting help for the students, for their families. And I believe that this will be a game changer in terms of improving our discipline rates if we can really address some of the underlying issues with our students. Great people. We have really invested a lot in trying to get teachers more support. This job does feel overwhelming at times, but we've have put instructional coaches into all our schools, so every new teacher can have a mentor. We've started to build pipelines where people can start to take leadership roles at their school and get into the pipeline if they're interested in staying and going into administration. Also really invested a lot in professional development and differentiated professional development because we know not all teachers need the same training. And so our team has done a really great job of offering special days where teachers can come and go to workshops that'll help them with areas that they select. And then in terms of great systems, we've been doing a lot of different things to try and improve transparency with the city. We started live streaming our board meetings. We're increasing financial transparency. We're doing a long-term demographic study to help us be strategic about our buildings and facilities and where we need to build more buildings and what areas might not have populations coming back. Build up student advisory committees, teacher advisory committees, and principal advisory committees, and we're talking to people about their experiences and what we can do to make it better for everyone who interacts with OKC schools. And just doing a lot of listening tours to gather feedback on the things that are broken and to figure out how to solve them. Also, just want to give some special thanks. I mean, this has been such a challenging year, but we've got some really special partners who've hugely stepped up to support our foundation, which helps our schools. So Love's Travel Stops is announcing today that they have just made a $100,000 donation to the OKC Schools Foundation, which thank you. This is so needed right now. Right there in the middle of this slide is a beautiful picture of Dick and Glenna Tannenbaum, who made a $150,000 donation every year for the next 5 years to the City Foundation, Schools Foundation. And the other partners on here who've just hugely stepped up to help our initiatives with Donors Choose and Partners in Action, and I'm going to go on about those in just a few slides. So you might be wondering, how can you help? You know, we do face a number of huge budget challenges, and we can either let this budget situation paralyze us, or we can let it teach us how to be crafty and how to find ways to succeed in spite of these challenges. When I choose to lead this amazing team of educators in a way where we can be resourceful and we will make things work in tough times, and where we will not get discouraged when it feels overwhelming. We will get through this, but we can't do this alone, and this is where we really do need your help. There are a number of ways that you can step up to support our teachers. Donors chooses a website where teachers go online to post projects for the supplies that they need for their classrooms that their schools can't afford. And we don't pay our teachers very much, so we can't ask them to keep dipping into their own pockets to buy instructional materials and things that their school just doesn't have. So here's a really great picture of a teacher getting a box of the things she ordered on Donors Choose. You can go online and type in your own zip code, and it'll pull up all the teachers that live around your house who need a little bit of support. And even a $5 or $10 donation will go a long way to helping teachers know you support them and you want to be part of the solution. And by $10, I of course mean $100, because if you could afford a ticket here, then I know you've probably got a little bit more money in your checkbook. But you know, it's a really great way. I encourage you to donate to a teacher, share it on social media, get your friends. If everyone kicks in just a few dollars, we can make a huge difference. And I'm just going to say, I brought my own little list. I've been going on and donating to teachers, so I'm challenging all of you to do this as well. Partners in Action is another great way that you can step up to support us. These are events where the principals put what their school needs are. Principals can't post on Donors Choose, so they've got a way that they're telling people what are some of the things they need donations for or volunteers for. Tonight we have a really great Partners in Action event at Northwest Classen High School for all of the schools in that feeder pattern, but this is where people can go. Your companies can find out, is there something that you can donate to help one of the schools that's in need? They have sample cards. You can take the cards. You can go on the website. But there are lots and lots of ways for you to help our schools get the stuff that they need to have a great school year.
I just walked in to find you here with that sad look upon your face. I should have changed that stupid lie. I should have made you leave the key. If I had known for just 1 second you'd be back to follow me. Oh, now go. Walk out the door. Just turn around now. You're not welcome anymore. Weren't you the one who tried to hurt me with your lie? You think I crumble? You think I lay down and I'm a survivor? I'm not gonna give up. I'm not gonna stop. I'm gonna work harder. I'm a survivor. I'm gonna make it. I'm a survivor. Keep on surviving. I can breathe.
Okay, I jumped into the music before I got to do my lead up. But basically, that was a clip from the second week of school from our kids at Webster Middle School. And I think the message from our kids is the message that I want to share with this whole community. The odds may be stacked against us right now, but we're up for this challenge and determined to succeed. We will overcome tough times, and we're not going to just survive, we're going to thrive. And we're going to emerge from this budget crisis smarter and more resourceful. And I guarantee, like I said last year, 5 years from now, this is going to be a district that this whole nation is watching. And it's actually starting to become a district right now that people are watching. So I just want to say thank you so much for being here. You guys are what's help us get through this. And I just want to thank you so much for your commitment to helping our district on this journey. And most of all, just thank you so much for your commitment to the students of Oklahoma City and the entire state of Oklahoma. Thank you.